Okay, we are here for Spirited Smoke, episode 4, beer and cigars. And I feel bad, Smokey, because you don't drink.
I don't drink.
You know, we're going to do something.
I had plenty of beer, believe me.
How much beer have you drank in your life?
A couple of breweries worth.
Okay, I believe it. Whenever someone stops drinking, I believe that they've drank a lot. The idea here is learning what cigars to pair with what beers, right? And I think Ophelia mentioned something earlier that with beers, I don't think you want to contrast too much.
So wise.
Well, it's a lot like wine in that you have your
Like
drier
light.
beers and your heavier and stuff like that. So and again, it goes what we used to say at the store. It's like for like. You want
Yes.
something lighter, a lighter beer. You have a lighter cigar. You have a heavier
Like
beer,
for
a
like.
stout.
Okay, I'm very excited about this segment. We are here today at Red Light Beer Parlor here in Orlando, Florida with the owner, Brent. Brent is and has been referred to as one of the most knowledgeable people in the beer industry by some people who I truly respect. So I wanted to come here and talk to you today about what kind of beers we should be pairing with cigars.
Yeah.
Okay, so awesome. So look, I'm just gonna run through what I normally do, which is the 3 main types of cigars. So let's talk about, this is the more classic Connecticut shade. It used to be the most dominant cigar in the industry. It's becoming more of a morning cigar. People are referring to it as a lighter body cigar. Depends on the blend, of course. But with a morning smoke, you know, something lighter bodied, you know, hay, honey, nuts, you know, that kind of stuff. What kind of beers would you gravitate towards for that?
I mean, definitely lighter beers for sure.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head, I would even go like a Bohemian style Pilsner.
Okay, so
Something that's
Pilsners?
Pilsner, something that has like a nice maltiness to it as well.
Okay, so now let's go into like a Habano or a Criollo, a natural wrapper. This is your afternoon cigar. It's gonna ramp up a little bit in spice. It's gonna have maybe a little bit more leather and fruits and stuff like that. Where would you go with that afternoon beer?
I would go in Belgium first.
Uh-huh.
I would stick with like a Belgian Lambic.
Belgian Lambic.
Belgian Lambic from the Peyhotenland.
Uh-huh.
They're spontaneously fermented beers, which means they don't add any yeast, and they're usually a blend of like a Lambic Goose would be a blend of 1, 2, and 3-year-old beer that's been fermenting and aging in oak,
Wow.
and they blend it to different flavors.
Okay.
But they have a lot of leathery notes
Uh-huh.
in them.
Hmm.
Also some spice. Some of them have fruit in it as well. So
Okay.
you could have like a Belgian Creek, which is a cherry lambic.
Wow.
Or Privada would have raspberries in it.
Man, these sound great.
Yeah, some of them you have to be careful. Some of them also are back sweetened. They'll have fructose added to them,
Oh.
which can be. I mean, if you really want something sweet, then that would work. But
We're more of a purist crowd, so.
that's not where my head was at. I was
Yeah.
thinking more of like the anything that says like oud, like OUD,
Uh-huh.
OUDE on it is typically like no back sweetened.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
going to be your
so-
more natural way to go.
Right.
Okay. So for the layman, a guy who lives in a town that, you know, because we're a national audience here, right? So guy who lives in a town where they just don't have anything this cool around, man. Morning beer, what do you get off the shelf at a grocery store?
Instead, like a Blue Moon or something like that. Would
Okay.
even work, you know?
Afternoon beer, what are you grabbing?
Go with the English Brown. You could probably find Newcastle. pretty much
Newcastle.
everywhere.
Okay. And what do you go with for the evening?
You could do even a Guinness, perhaps.
Okay.
Still a bit on the lighter side, but if you're somewhere you can find the Guinness for an extra stout,
Uh-huh.
that's going to be a little bit stronger and have a little bit more chocolate and coffee flavors
Nice.
going into it.
Mike.
Gentlemen,
What's up, brother?
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
How's it going?
This is Clark.
Good to meet you, man.
Hey, Clark, how you
Clark
doing?
works with me, and I've been telling him about Cigar Hustler, and he keeps hearing about you guys. You're a member of the LCA, so he calls up here, so I wanted him to come in person. And we also wanted to raid your stash, but hold that thought. We are here today at Cigar Hustler in Deltona, Florida. This is right outside of Orlando. This is a legendary shop in the area. They have a lot of things that you just can't find in most places, and Mike is a very hospitable guy. If you're in the area, definitely check them out. They are also in the LCA, so you can find LCA releases here. Do you mind if we go rummage through your stash here?
Go hunt away, man.
Thanks, man.
Unreal.
Got some Espinosa Murciélagos. HVC. Oh, I think I got one. This is getting very hard to find, dude. I'm getting these. We're getting these.
Hotcakes.
Hot cakes. If you guys don't know, Rainier Lorenzo from HVC recently made this cigar, and it is getting rave reviews. We found it, we loved it, and now we can't get any more. So, yeah, Mike, if you don't mind, we're gonna take these 3 off your hands for the sit and smoke. Awesome.
You know, take the rest of these.
Yeah, okay, we'll take them off. All right, Mike,
All right, man.
my brother, thank you
Thanks
so
so
much.
much.
I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You brought, thank you for bringing Sweet Baby Jesus. I've heard of this
Amen,
beer, I've
brother.
seen it.
One
It's
of
like
the best.
chocolate
Testify.
milk
I
for
just
adults.
Say it all day. Sweet baby Jesus.
It's great. Chocolate peanut butter porter out of one of the
Peanut
great things
butter?
to come out of Baltimore. So what are we
Right.
smoking tonight? Pick up the cigar you have in front of you. I have the Paul Stulac Exclusiva El Nuevo Comienza
And
Privada
comienza
ni
means
Privada.
Beginning.
comienza means so it's
The new beginning. New beginning. This is Paul Stulac's first
First blend.
new cigar blend in 5 years?
6 years now, since
6?
2014.
That
Would you look at these things?
Blends.
Oh yeah.
fun
Okay,
stuff.
this is the finished product, and they're fantastic. We are not selling them in the shop. They're only available through LCA stores.
Yes, and
It's
that's the
really-
other cigar.
It smells like I just walked into a barn. Like
But it's got that
nothing else.
chocolatey
It's-
note. Maybe it's.
It's got chocolatey and it's also got leather too.
Yeah.
but something different.
Who's got a cutter?
I have an old school.
Has this been
product.
sterilized?
Yes, it has. It's
Okay.
actually been microwaved.
Microwave.
I think I licked mine yesterday.
This guy's microwaving metal. Dude, the first note almost smells like tomato juice for me for some reason. Like just the first one, you just graze over it. I just get this like vegetal thing or tomato thing,
Kind of see that a little bit.
but then it turns into, what do you call that spice?
It's coriander.
Coriander.
It's coriander,
Okay, it's beautiful.
It's the seed of cilantro, basically.
Oh. Oh, that's right. Coriander and cilantro can be, yeah.
So you have coriander, you got a cilantro plant, you let it go to seed, little tiny little BBs. I grind that up and put it in a beer.
And so this is the Belgium wit.
Yeah, so this is Baptiste wit from Van Steenberg from Belgium. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
have like meringue, like head on it too. I
Yeah.
just fucking love that shit.
Yeah, it's
You see,
beautiful.
it's got like a floating island of foam. And
Yeah.
love it.
Okay, so this is our afternoon beer.
Yeah, so English brown ale. It's Sam Smith's Nut Brown Ale.
I've had this before. This is great stuff.
It's a world classic. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can find it.
It's pretty well distributed considering it's a fairly small brewery.
What would you? I always like to ask other people that are professionals in the culinary kind of world here, like, what would you describe that nose as? Like, it's definitely like fruity floral.
See, I mean, I can get some fruitiness, but I get more of like a caramel
Okay.
kind of to it.
Yeah, actually, you're
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, everybody.
This is how I learned. This is how.
Yeah,
you
but
learn,
no, but you're not wrong. Like
Right.
everybody's body detects different chemicals at different levels. so
100%.
It could taste totally different, smell totally different than even I get.
Oh,
Super old brewery too, from Yorkshire, Northern England. Yeah.
chocolatey. It's almost oaty a little bit. That
It's
smooth,
real creamy and
cream,
smooth.
just
Yeah.
so creamy. So Brent, this is our evening.
Yes.
Okay, this is our full body.
This is our Bell's Kalamazoo Stout.
Wow,
So-
I love bells.
Yeah. So classic American stout. These brewers licorice in it.
Brewer's licorice. Now that's gonna go great with coffee, right? With cigars right away.
Sure.
Yeah, anything licorice.
So your darker,
I'm just getting coffee
Richer.
on it. It just smells like
Yeah.
great creamy coffee.
oh sure. A little bit of like baker's chocolate, but mostly
Mm.
coffee.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like drinking
Thicker,
chocolate and coffee,
heavier.
and yeah,
Yeah.
creamy too.
It's got a bit of bitterness though too. The finish, a little bit of bitterness.
Yeah, yeah. It dries on you.
But
And then
you,
last,
you can definitely go to heavier, more richer stouts than this too. This
Can
is-
you?
Oh, for sure.
this is pretty rich.
Oh, this is level 1.
Really? Yeah. Well, I gotta
Yeah.
come back in and
Yeah,
drink some
yeah.
of those with you sometime.
Yeah.
You gotta make a bench out back so I can smoke cigars out there.
There you go. And we usually have beer hall tables and stuff back there.
Can you smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when we're
Okay.
allowed to serve.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I think we found a new hangout here, Johnny.
We are making some beer cheese. We need some butter, we need some flour, we need some whole fat milk, we need a beer of your choice, you need some Worcestershire sauce, some Dijon mustard, a few spices, and obviously cheese. So I just finished grating our cheeses. I've got Gouda and cheddar. You can use whatever combination you like. Don't buy the pre-shredded stuff though, because they add chemicals to them that make it hard to melt. Today we're gonna be using a Yingling lager. You can use whatever beer that you like the flavor of, but make sure you do like it because you will taste it in your cheese sauce. Add 3 tablespoons of flour and then whisk it very quickly until it clumps up just like this. Add your milk. Make sure it's room temperature. Very slow streams. And then you're gonna need 2/3 a cup of your cerveza. Very slowly. Make sure your beer is room temperature to avoid getting that gritty texture. You add your Worcestershire sauce, about 2 teaspoons. You add about a half a teaspoon of your Dijon mustard. You've got about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder and about a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Boom. And remove it from the heat. I like to wait about a minute to let it cool off just a little bit before adding my cheese. Just keep on whisking, get that beautiful smooth texture. Okay, I could smell the beer. And then the last step, obviously you need cheese. For beer cheese, you wanna add in small chunks and then mix it as you go. Boom. Boom. Okay, and then you just pour it in your beautiful container. Ooh, look at that, all that gooey cheese. And you need a little garnish. I like to add a little more cheese. And done. Ooh, look at that gooey cheese.
If you don't mind.
Mmm. So you definitely can taste the beer. Make
Yeah, it
sure
smells
you like,
winey almost. Like.
make sure you like the beer you're using.
Mm. Oh, it's so
Go
much
ahead.
better than the first one. Wow.
You double dipped, babe. You're not
I'm
supposed to
gonna-
double dip.
I'm gonna use this on hot dogs next. to me, the thing with the chocolate porter stouts are they're delicious, but I don't get the bubbles that I'm looking for. This is like a nitro stout.
It's not,
kind of thing.
yeah, it's not as carbonated as some other beers.
It's delicious
lightly
though.
carbonated.
It is delicious. It pairs
is.
well. It's like chocolate milk. What kind of beer would you pair with a Connecticut shade? Real quick.
Like a Pilsner.
Pilsner.
The pale ale.
Yeah.
Pale ale. Okay. A good
think-
light beer. How about a
Yeah,
good
light-
light beer?
Good
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna say words. That's good.
What would you pair with a Habano?
Red ale.
Red ale. Yeah,
Red ale.
Red ale.
So amber lager.
Amber lager stout.
Like a
Okay.
fat tire.
Fat
Yeah,
tire
there
is
we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
And I guess this is the beer that you pair with a
Chocolate,
Maduro.
yeah.
You could do that. A Guinness for me is a number one always.
Guinness
For
is
sure.
great. Guinness
Yeah.
is similar to this.
Yeah, very similar.
Do you need? But is there a beer for somebody who wants to do a dark, heavy, full-bodied cigar besides a black beer? Something that's not a
Yes.
stout.
Yes.
Not a
The Belgium delirium style.
100%. Yeah.
Bready.
Still
You know.
darker.
Well, no, that one was dark, but they're
darker
usually
color.
not darker. They're
Right.
usually not that dark.
Right.
They're more red-ish.
Well, and if you like an IPA, you can never go wrong. You just have to know which one it is, right?
I feel like IPAs completely overpower the cigar, yet I've had great experiences with an IPA and a cigar.
Yeah. The
So-
hardest part for me is because it's so vast. The
Yeah.
options that you have, you really don't know what you're getting
So
until you
vast.
try it.
Because like I think what you guys were saying earlier is like with other spirits, especially whiskey, you can really mix and match. You know, just something really spicy with something that's more mild. But I feel like if you do something really hoppy with something that's not suited for that in
Sure.
cigars, it's gonna taste weird. It just tastes weird.
And
I
the other,
agree. I wouldn't want happy in my.
100%.
In my cigar
And the
bag.
other thing I want to say is when you walk through a beer shop, I hope, okay, I hope that we are borrowing. I know Privada is borrowing a page from the craft beer movement in this cigar renaissance that we're creating.
That's what you. Yeah.
And I hope that when you walk through a humidor at a brick and mortar shop in 5 years from now, that it is as colorful, it is as exciting, it is as creative as what I see when I walk through the craft beer shops. I mean, look at these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Well,
They are.
They're beautiful. And I understand cigars are supposed to be traditional, but
You can play.
we're
with
coming
it.
into a new place
And to
here.
touch on that really quickly, listening to a podcast and they were touching on cigar bands and what to and not to use when you use the cigar band. I guess like blue, green, orange colors like that were like
Why?
looked down upon. You weren't supposed to use
'Cause
them.
they weren't
were in
traditional,
sales, they were
right.
traditional.
Yeah.
And to that point, I think that
Reds,
would be
golds, greens.
yeah,
Those are-
phenomenal to see a bunch of color.
I
variants.
hear things from manufacturers all the time. I heard recently that when you put a woman on your band, you're almost guaranteed bad sales.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes. And if you think about it, there are some great, like the Caldwell with
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Yeah.
I don't know that he sold a ton of that. It doesn't sell as well as the King
That's
is
really
Dead or any of that stuff. You
You
know,
put a
the-
man's face on it and it'll sell more.
Yeah.
it sells more. So it's very interesting. Okay, so we are here for the sit and smoke portion of Spirited Smoke, episode 4. We are smoking the Hot Cake by HBC. Shout out to Rainier. This is such a great cigar, man. We found this over at Mike's shop,
Cigar Hustlers.
Cigar Hustler in Deltona, Florida. We had a good time over there. Thank you. And Mike actually hooked us up with beer that they made specifically for a cigar they make, and it exploded in Johnny's car. So we don't have that beer. So I called Brent back from Red Light, our beer specialist, and he said that if I could find Delirium Nocturnum to pair with a darker Maduro like this, we would be in luck, and I found it.
Ooh, that looks like cognac.
Even if you don't, we are today. So who made this this beer?
This is from Delirium. They
I've had a few deliriums before.
they are
but
a very popular Belgium company that has that pink elephant as their logo. They have amazing beers.
Thank you.
All indulge. Here
Thank
you
you.
go. some beer experts at home like, this guy's a fucking amateur, man.
Cheers, guys. Oh.
Let's wait for Clark. Clark.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ophelia.
Cheers, Clark.
All right, let's give it a shot. First of all, it's very, it's like metallic on the nose and chocolatey,
Very
Ooh.
much so, yes.
right? Like metallic blood, like when you cut yourself and taste
Yes,
your blood.
that's exactly what it's like.
But the
Always
taste
taste your blood. You could, if it tastes like birthday cake, something's wrong.
After you've had beer, it's alcoholic too.
So the taste is really nice. It's like a sweet, very desserty sort of.
That's that standard Belgium,
Yeah.
you know, bread in a can kind of thing. It's very expensive, although this wasn't that expensive. And this is their dark nocturnum. It's chocolatey, it's bready, it's just like a really good Maduro.
It's not super hoppy either.
No,
No,
it's
no,
not
I
hoppy.
can see it
Yeah,
pairing well with a cigar. It's
100%
not super bitter.
sweet, chocolatey, bready.
Definitely more of the malts that you would get out of like a stout or a porter.
Absolutely, but
It's got like that,
with that Belgium style.
yeah, that
Yeah.
characteristic like Belgium sweet
Yeah.
spice thing going on there.
Yeah.
All right, so we know what the
Very
beer
nice.
tastes like. Let's find out what the cigars taste like. 1-800, I've been quarantined too long. Well, how's your health? I don't know, I'm up to 3 cigars a day and a 6-pack. Is that all right? Is that moderate?
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Wow, right off the bat.
Now, when I first had this cigar, it was wet. They just got here. It was a brand new release, and they were just wet. That it was like a gunky, wet wrapper. This has been aged a little bit more. It's probably been 3 months since it came out, and
So good. Peppery, but it's kind of still balanced.
It is
Which is-
Aganorsa after all.
Right, exactly.
But definitely not as peppery as Aganorsa can be.
no, chocolate, red pepper, bread, very similar to the beer that we're having actually.
Oh yeah.
Rainier really outdid himself with this. He's a great guy, and he deserves a hit, and he's got a hit with this.
Yeah, and the beer isn't really spicy. It's spicy, it's sweeter. So I think that will really contrast beautifully.
So chocolate, bread, leather, pepper, a little bit of floral.
And a nice medium plus on the body.
Medium
too,
plus
which
on
is
the body,
really
full
great.
on the flavor, and almost probably a perfect pairing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'd
If
say
you're not
so.
looking for contrast, this is a perfect pairing. They go just like they're
I
meant
don't
to
think
be.
you really want to do contrast with beer, per se, right?
Probably not. That's actually a great point.
That actually is, yeah.
All right, well
There's
that
like just enough contrast here, though, in the sense that it's sweet but spicy on this,
sure,
but the body's similar.
perfect pair. Delirium Nocturnum and Hot Cake. Grab both if you can, and we will see you next time. Peace.